Defense gets deep as troops look to logistics on day 8 of Kuang. St. Vincent and the Grenadines' prime minister celebrates 45 years of relations with Taiwan. Officials urge caution over China's reported 4-point plan targeting Taiwan. Plus, as Ghost Festival begins, we look at more eco-friendly ways to honor those in the next life.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Leslie Liao. The Kuang exercise entered its 8th day on Wednesday as units around the country carried out more combat drills. Our reporter Larry Isiano has the latest.
Taiwan's annual Kuang military exercise is in its 8th day, what the Defense Ministry is calling the deep defense and protracted combat phase. That means troops focus less on confronting enemies and more on training logistics and support operations.
这是一个你把它想象成像是一个不同的这个层级 layer， 就是外层反登陆，接着在 B 区反击。那在这个 urban warfare 也会进行相关的防御。
Exercises took place around the capital, Taipei. Special forces units used Black Hawk helicopters to train how they could project air power across northern Taiwan. One chopper landed on a university sports field, where troops quickly hopped on, carrying anti-armor missiles. The military police, usually tasked with protecting the presidential office and key areas around the city, carried out their own exercises. They reinforced their Nangan district garrison overnight and deployed troops Wednesday morning to northern Taipei's Guandu Plain.
要是中国或者敌方从淡水河口进来，或者是用直升机，或者是这个 parachute， 就是降落伞降落的话，关渡平原是一个很重要的这个比较平坦的区域，所以在这里就会结合在这个北投清泉岗的这个陆战队。 还有就是在关渡指挥部的联兵营进行歼灭战。
Overnight, units in Taoyuan carried out 24-hour exercises on wartime equipment repair. That means assembling engines, fixing hydraulic and electrical systems, and troubleshooting issues. Their task was to carry out repairs as quickly as possible in limited light. Air defense units also conducted their own exercise across northern Taiwan, carrying out nighttime resupply drills. But while logistics took center stage, ensuring troops could drill their combat capabilities remained a key part of the nighttime exercises. Army Special Forces units held an ambush drill, where under the cover of darkness, personnel simulated destroying an enemy armored convoy and eliminating high-value targets. They used anti-vehicle missiles, drones, thermal imaging scopes, and sniper rifles. As Kuang 2026 enters its final days, these drills continue to highlight the Army's multi-layered defense strategy, one that goes beyond beach landings or maneuvers in the Taiwan Strait. They're training troops to take advantage of Taiwan's terrain and urban landscape to successfully delay enemy advances and make an invasion much more costly. John Su and Larry Siano for TaiwanPlus.
41 countries, including the US, Japan, and South Korea, have issued a statement saying countries should give advance notice when they launch ballistic missiles. The statement comes after China carried out a surprise launch of a nuclear-capable missile into the Pacific last month and only gave a few hours' notice. The statement did not mention China by name, but called on all nations to observe internationally standard practices and to give at least 24 hours advance notice for launches. The statement said it aimed to lower the risk of miscalculation and enhance regional security. Taiwan's government has condemned a planned joint naval drill between China and Indonesia in waters off Taiwan's east coast. The Mainland Affairs Council, which deals with Taiwan's China policy, called the planned exercise dangerous. It also accused Beijing of using the drill to assert jurisdiction over the area. While Chinese vessels regularly enter waters around Taiwan, Chinese joint drills with foreign militaries in these waters are rare. An Indonesian Navy spokesperson confirmed one of its vessels would conduct passing exercises with the countries it travels through. It said the drills were not intended for, quote, warfighting. This week, Taiwan is celebrating 45 years of relations with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Prime Minister is in Taipei for a state visit with festivities already underway. Tiffany Wong has more.
With a 19-gun salute, Taiwan President Lai Ching-te welcomes St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Godwin Friday in his first overseas visit after taking office.
President Lai, thank you. That was an incredible display.
Friday is here to celebrate 45 years of ties between the two countries. His visit has eased concerns that his government would shift recognition to Beijing after ending his rival's 24-year run in office last year.
I am ready to work with you to write the next chapter of this 45-year relationship. I am prepared for partnership.
Later, President Lai thanked the Caribbean ally for its continued support for Taiwan's participation in international organizations. He also pledged Taiwan's support for St. Vincent's development.
未来台湾会和圣文森国在各领域继续深化合作，我很期待透过多元的计划继续增进两国人民的福祉。
Of these diverse projects, Lai highlighted agricultural and youth exchanges, while Friday cited tourism and marine industries as areas of interest. At a state banquet in the evening, Lai celebrated the 45 years of friendship between the two nations.
台湾和圣文森国共享民主自由价值，都了解国家存在的意义。国家存在的意义不在于幅员大小，而在于对信念的坚持，以及对人民的照顾。 还有对国际社会的贡献与责任。
As these two small nations celebrate together, their commitment to each other remains steadfast. Hank Shui and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
U.S. lawmakers have called on Lithuania to resist China's bullying and maintain its ties with Taiwan. 4 members of Congress's Taiwan caucus issued a letter Monday urging Lithuania to continue its support of Taiwan. In 2021, Lithuania allowed Taiwan to open its representative office using the name Taiwanese instead of Taipei. It also withdrew from a China-led European economic framework. These moves were condemned by China, which imposed strong economic pressure on the country. The newly elected Lithuanian prime minister recently said the changes were, quote, maybe too brave. He has indicated he wants to repair relations with Beijing. Taiwan is urging the public to stay vigilant against Chinese interference after media reports suggested Beijing plans to support pro-China forces in upcoming local elections. The government was responding to reports of 4 priorities Beijing set out for Taiwan at its Beidaihe Summer Forum. A Taiwanese security official told local media the list says China opposes Taiwan pursuing independence through military expansion, will strengthen, quote, de facto governance of Taiwan, will mobilize resources against pro-independence groups, and support pro-unification forces in upcoming local elections. Taiwan's government regularly warns about Chinese political infiltration and attempted interference in elections. To learn more about how these reported strategies from Beijing might translate into action, Reese Ayers spoke to Chen Fangyu, an associate professor of political science at Soochow University.
At the Beidaihe meeting, China said it would focus on strengthening de facto governance over Taiwan. In practice, could Beijing use legal and cognitive warfare to undermine Taipei's authority?
In recent years, we have seen that Beijing is strengthening its connection with Taiwan's, not only in the grassroots level, but also we have seen that espionage cases has already gone onto the very high level of government officials. And Beijing's plan is to connect with various levels of Taiwanese people, including the military personnel, and also in various levels of the civil servants. And also the cognitive warfare is against the ordinary people, the citizens.
So Beijing also talks about mobilizing resources across all Taiwanese sectors to counter independence. So which networks or local infrastructure in Taiwan are perhaps most vulnerable to Chinese infiltration?
Almost every level has its vulnerability. There's a recent news saying that Beijing is targeting the middle schools and high school students, invite them to visit China. And also they are giving some secret resources to the local elections. Beijing is trying to absorb and trying to do more espionage cases. For example, Beijing is giving a lot of resources to the media, journalists, and also the anchors, and trying to recruit more spies. And even some of the group members, including some the retired military personnel.
And Taiwan's local elections are coming up in November. How do we expect that China's support for those so-called patriotic forces might manifest in the lead up to those elections?
It is not based on patriotism. It is based on material interests and bribes. We have seen several cases of anti-infiltration charges in recent years. I think that in the local elections, people should be aware of the information, the resource of the information, and to fact check, and also maybe to discuss more information and the political affairs with your friends, not only from the TikToks or some of the social medias, because it is highly controlled or influenced by some of the Chinese influencers.
That was Senfang Yu, an associate professor at Soochow University. Coming up after the break, emergency crews and conservationists battle wildfires in Indonesia.
For more stories from Taiwan and Manila, visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on our social media.
There's so many things that I wish the world could see.
It is amazing to watch this captain maneuver this giant ship.
It takes 3 days to cook this. The flavor is unbelievable, incredible.
And it's my turn to make something inspired by Chef Gore.
It's going to be quite a challenge. Can you imagine that?
It's surreal. Yes, so real.
I can't give up. I got some ass kicking to do.
Nice move. We're pushing each other to explore and experiment in new, different ways.
5, 4, 3, 2.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News.
Exploring the issues that matter to you.
Not just to Taiwan, the whole world is watching.
很多时候是我们眼睛看不到的地方。
We might encounter mishaps and mistakes along the way. But at the end of the day,
it just transmits something straight from the heart.
Yes.
Cheers.
Bon appetit.
It is about the fun, and it's about the glamour, and it's also about something much deeper than that.
Sometimes you just gotta seize the opportunity. You just gotta do it.
Have a place where you're appreciated for you exactly as you are, and where you can shine and be seen.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. The U.S. has lifted its ban on using the TikTok app on federal government devices. This comes after the Justice Department determined that TikTok no longer meets the legal definition of a security risk. The app was banned in 2023 on concerns that Chinese owner ByteDance could share data with Beijing. The app's U.S. operations are now majority owned by American investors and are considered independent of ByteDance. Taiwan's Foxconn is reporting a 35% year-on-year rise in second quarter profit as demand for AI servers in data centers drives growth. An earnings call revealed net profit for April through June had reached $1.86 billion as the company looks to maintain its status as NVIDIA's biggest AI server maker with plans for factories in Mexico and Texas. Foxconn has also been looking to push into the electric vehicle market. While the company's share prices have risen 17% so far this year, they have underperformed the broader Taiwan stock market index's 57% gain. Indonesia is battling wildfires as hot, dry conditions engulf the country. And it's not just humans at risk. One wildlife protection group is working to move endangered orangutans to safe areas. John Van Trieste reports.
A lone figure faces down a wall of flames sweeping the slopes of Mount Bromo, a volcano that's one of Indonesia's biggest tourist attractions. For more than a week, firefighters like this have been locked in combat with this blaze. And since Saturday, officials have had to close the surrounding national park to visitors. At least 9 square kilometers, 2% of the park's area, has been left in smoldering embers. As of Tuesday, there was some hope for getting this fire under better control.
We hope to stop it from spreading any further today, as the hotspots have already been identified and are now being dealt with.
But tourism is key to the local economy, and for many here, each day the park burns is a day of lost income.
The impact of this fire is economic, because tourists cannot come while the national park is closed.
In total, almost 50,000 firefighters have taken up positions against fires across Indonesia's many islands, as the powerful El Niño climate pattern brings dry, windy conditions. Nationwide, more than 1,000 square kilometers are already scorched, despite the efforts of firefighters and helicopter crews. Some authorities have even tried cloud seeding to coax rain from the dry sky. On the island of Borneo, thick haze has closed some schools. And the flames spreading through provinces here have also seen a special kind of rescue mission put into action. Wildlife rangers have been trekking through at-risk forests in search of endangered orangutans that need to be evacuated. It's an operation rescuers have pulled off during past fires on the island. But conservationists know there are always risks, even after the flames are out.
We might not see it all happening at the same time, but maybe even like months after the fire season, where orangutans, because they starve, they don't have enough food, their forest patches have been burned, they might enter plantations and conflict with humans, increasing also the conflict with humans.
Forest fires aren't unusual in Indonesia, but this year's fires have been especially fierce. The last time El Niño affected Indonesia, in 2023, it brought fires too. But the area burnt during the first half of this year is more than double that in the same period of 2023. And it may be some time before all the blazes are out. The rest of August and September will likely see the same dry, windy conditions that have already made 2026 especially severe, bringing a serious challenge ahead for Indonesia's officials and fire crews. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Deep in the mountains of Ilan, scientists are launching a groundbreaking project to save a local endemic plant. The mission is to restore the Taiwan peony, an orchid whose survival is key to a healthier ecosystem. A team from TaiwanPlus visited the forest to learn more.
Here in Chilan Nature Reserve, one of Taiwan's most vital ecological sites, researchers are returning lab-grown seedlings to their natural forest habitat, securing them in cultivation containers.
From
the forest floor to the canopy high above, the team is conducting a first-of-its-kind experiment. They're working to reintroduce the Taiwan peony, an endemic species of orchid, back into the wild. Growing in clusters, each Taiwan peony produces only a single leaf. These orchids thrive in the cool, misty forests of the high mountains all over Taiwan, but they are at risk. Now listed as a near-threatened species, their numbers are shrinking due to climate change and habitat loss. In the Chilan area alone, it's estimated that a quarter of the population has disappeared.
我第一次来这边将近是20年前，然后那时候就是看到哇，树上怎么满满都是野兰，来这边就发现，原来它是正港的附生株，可以长到20-30公尺高。然后但是近4-5年我就发现，我原本在地上看到那些野兰就都不见了。我的有一棵杨树上面有一大群白色的野兰，去年就没看到。
The popularity of these flowers has also contributed to their decline. A mountain photographer remembers poaching he saw in the wild about 15 years ago.
看这个犯罪现场哦，它是整个腐殖土哦把它卷走，啊，它那个因为渔业兰是长在腐殖土上面的，没有这一层腐殖土哦，它不可能长得出来，而且要形成这一片腐殖土的话哈，啊，一定是千年万年的才有可能，而且要很好的基因。 哦，才能形成这么一大片，整片捡走呢，我够可恶呢，非常伤心呢，哭了好久哎。
To save these orchids and better understand how they are affected by climate change, experts are growing wild seeds in labs before moving them to Alishan in central Taiwan to get used to the new environment. Located in the same misty forest zone, Alishan was once a natural home for the species.
所以今年还要再驯化一批。
这个实验搞不好还要做个7、8年吧。每一个新的实验都要做很久啦，你以为科学家那么好当哦？
渔业兰，我觉得她就是娇贵嘛，千金大小姐啊，哎呀，很难养，真的很难养哎。我这一次驯化它，就是遇到夏天很热，然后虫也多，那个乌壳瓜牛就吃得很开心嘛。 哎呀，然后所剩无几，就这些。
The remaining seedlings were planted in both the canopy and on the forest floor. The team is now monitoring how different temperatures and humidity levels affect their survival.
我们现在林业实验所就是我的同事，他们在无菌播种成功率已经非常高了。然后一个国家里面有千万颗种子嘛，就可以长出千万颗小苗，所以其实对 它的生态富裕才是，或者是未来我们想要从事商业的这个栽培，它是比较有效率的。但是现在我们要突破点是说，你在就是无菌播种的温室里面长出的这些小苗，要如何富裕到野外，这是一个很大的瓶颈。
Why put so much effort into a single orchid? Because in the eyes of science, no species is too small to save.
因为渔业兰它是一个在森林里面很显著的目标嘛，对。然后渔业兰它都变少了，然后这是因为我们很容易观察到嘛。那其他比较不容易观察到的生物，你根本就不知道它少了多少啊。对生态学家来讲，每一种生物都是一样重要，因为每种生物它在生态系里面都有它的功能，就是它不能取代的功能。
The team will be closely watching to see if these orchids can truly thrive in the wild once again. Saving one species could be the start of saving more and restoring a more resilient ecosystem. Peachy Zhuang and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
On the opening day of the annual Ghost Festival, temples around the country are gearing up to burn massive amounts of joss paper. But one Taipei temple is among many that are taking a more eco-friendly approach to this tradition. Irene Lin takes a look.
Ahead of the traditional Ghost Month prayer ceremony, believers and tourists are coming to this Taipei temple to pay respects to the city god, or Chen Huangye. Traditionally, they do it by burning joss paper. But for the past 3 decades, there's been a shift in this practice to reduce air pollution in the city. The temple provides smaller bundles of joss paper, collecting them to be burned together by the city government, instead of letting people burn them individually here.
集中到某个量的时候，比如说我的量到了，我就请一个小货车载走，所以没有定期说哪一天。刚开始信众是很难接受的哈，因为我们的民俗传统习惯都已经是这样。但是我们现在做到这20几年来，信众都可以接受，因为第一我们的金子的量也很少。 第二，就让他们知道说，其实很安心，你在这边做的东西，因为现场的这个流程他们都看到。
The initiative aims to reduce the amount of joss paper and incense burned at religious ceremonies each year. The temple has even offered to replace them with packs of rice as a blessing. But as joss paper is meant to honor the ancestors and wandering spirits, some people say they can't give up the practice altogether, but do support government oversight on how it's done.
就是说，因为环保的原因，所以很多地方他们封炉了。但是呢，有的时候我们在为了心里面上的那个安宁哈，那我们就说，就说会想要找个地方，但是我找来找去， 大概就是这边的城隍爷
拿香有金子才对祖先有所好像说尊重，我们也是都有在做啊。所以我刚才问那个师兄说，这个夜是什么时候做？
The Taipei city government says over half of the city's registered temples have joined in. The collected batches will be sent to 3 specialized incinerators, and officials continue to urge people to not burn joss paper at home.
我们这个近5年，从114年到114年的一个清运量，从1200多公吨，已经上升到1600多公吨，大概上升大概近3成。我们会请民众呢，跟我们这边的区公所去索取我们的一个集中烧的专用袋，然后还或是一些我们集中烧的专用贴纸。那针对这个寺庙或是一些联合普渡这种比较多量、比较大量的东西的时候，其实可以通知我们的一个清洁队，那去做定点的一个收运。
The initiative has made it to the national level, with the Environment Ministry launching a project to centralize joss paper burning in every city and county. With local and central efforts working in tandem, temples and officials hope to respect ancestral practices while making them a little better for the environment. Liao and Ringlin for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we take you to Croatia, where tourists are escaping the summer heat with a walk along the seabed. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.